Welcome everyone to Prototech Episode 0. Today, I'm going to tell you my story on Prototech, from when I joined all the way back in April of 2020 to what I'm currently working on now, and future projects to come. I've been so excited to make a video on this server, but I haven't had the opportunity to make one yet, and I think that now is finally the right time. Enjoy. Well, first of all, what is Prototech? Prototech is a community-run vanilla Minecraft server that is dedicated to pushing the limits of Minecraft. The members of Prototech are involved in the development of constructing machines, which aim to automate the collection of every single item in the game. They also like collecting rare items and blocks, such as glitched cactus, protection 8 armor, and the Bedrock item. A few people have asked how I got onto this server, and the story behind this is quite intriguing and dates back to early March, where I was working on portal corruption and slicing mechanics. After uploading a video on this, Ray'sWorks discovered it and suggested that I apply for his technical Minecraft server called Prototech. Now at this time I was already on Mechanists, but that server was very young and was on 1.16, which meant no legacy bows, god armor, portal warping, or most importantly, no end portal frames. But the deciding factor for me was the completely vanilla experience of Prototech, no mods or anything similar. After joining the Prototech Discord and sending in an application, I waited nervously for a whole week, and then I got a message from Nudicus, an admin at the time, notifying me of my acceptance onto the Prototech server. I was thrilled and conflicted. On one hand, I wanted to stay on my current server, where I could implement all my new 1.16 farms onto their world, and help them build their newly developed community from the ground up. And on the other, I could join a veteran technical Minecraft server with tons of infrastructure, history, and interest in collecting rare items and preserving glitched blocks and areas, and of course, the experience of playing on a vanilla server with no mods. I decided to stay. I sent a reply back to Nudicus stating my intentions of playing on Mechanists, declining his heartfelt offer. Within a minute of making this rash decision, I came to my senses and concluded that I will accept their offer, with the deciding factor being the intense ping that I would have to endure if I continued on the Mechanist server. I quickly deleted my previous Discord message and sent over a new one filled with gratitude and hope, one that would lead me down this uncertain path, onto a server with people that I've never heard of, and a version that I haven't touched in 3 years. And then, that story brings us here, to my very first moments on Prototech. After displaying my feelings in chat, I set out on a rather clumsy tour guided by none other than Kman himself. At this stage in my career, I didn't even have a microphone and had to resort to just typing in chat. Either way, it was an incredibly unique experience to be on such an old and dedicated server with so much technical action going on. So here's a supercut of my tour. I joined the server at a time when no one else was at spawn, so I had it all to myself. I got myself stuck after dropping down to the lower sections of spawn. This area was designed to be navigated with an elytra, but I had none. I tried to get out nonetheless, attempting precarious enderpearl throws, trying to get into this enticing nether portal perched just in reach. But all my throws fell short, either hitting the edge or the bottom, and after meeting my inevitable end and first death on the server, I thought I better get some gear so I don't get stuck in a similar position again.
Okay, first death. First death on the server.
I travelled through a more accessible portal and had a careful look around the nether hub, before heading to Slave Island. The main villager district of the server. I traded some crops that weren't mine to poor souls that had been confined to this cell for years, but I did get some forbidden Tic Tacs though. After my shopping spree, I headed back to spawn where I met Mr. Smith, a villager who escaped captivity years ago, and has since been through multiple updates and has caught a wide catalogue of trades to show for it. I managed to grab a complete set of diamond gear off him. Then I headed downstairs once more and met Kman. He gave me some tips on how to enchant my new goods.
No, you don't want to use enchantment tables. That's not a good idea. I would think you should go trade for them like everyone else does. You want me to show you the trading hall? Or show you where it's at?
But first,
Okay, let's go.
Okay, instant drop is on.
Oh, wait, you've never seen instant drop. I've got to show you this.
No,
Okay,
no.
I'm going to break 2 bedrock at once by doing this. You see
Whoa.
this bedrock here?
Hold on.
Just place it here.
System
2
fix.
bedrock gone forever.
phenomenon like this are not just possible but casual and take place all the time on the server. When I first saw this, I thought that it was either some mod, cheat, plugin, or I was just being trolled. But as this is a vanilla server and I didn't reckon that anyone would bother trolling the new guy, these are all invalid reasons as to how such a thing is possible. After questioning how this was done,
You did that right.
Magic.
I got linked to a YouTube video which didn't explain anything other than how to subscribe by hitting the big red button down below. And when I inquired further, I just got told that it's called the Switch. We then headed back over to Hawaii with Kman, who was also receiving a tour that same day. Camp demonstrated how the machines, villages, worked, and we spent the best part of an hour gathering emeralds and later on books to apply to our gear. The tour went on for a bit after this, but I am unable to recall all the events that unfolded, and I wasn't able to recover the rest of the recording. Sorry. About a week after the tour, I started to scout out areas to build up a home. I sought out this beautiful location. It's next to a gorgeous lake, being only a couple hundred blocks from the Nether Hub, and it's in a prime location for a base. Plus, it's adjacent to a spruce forest and desert, which are 2 biomes which contain the materials that I'll need for a future project. I was so excited to get my cozy little place all set up. Here is some ancient footage of me just after arriving on the shores and a time-lapse of it being flattened too. So here is the spot as it stands right now. I flattened the island down to its base and constructed a concrete converter and a bit of temporary storage. As you can see, the nearby mega taiga is rich in spruce logs and the views over the nearby lake are nothing but stunning. Even though this spot is relatively close to the Nether Hub, the travel time is still a bit longer than I'd like, so I decided to chuck in 2 piston bolts branching off from the southwest highway straight to my base. These are 1.14 bolts, as they need rails to be placed on glass. I did this because it looks cool. I also didn't record any time lapses for these sadly, but here are some progress screenshots that I took. Once we update to 1.14, I'll curve the rails on top and it'll be fully operational. Eventually I'll construct a bolt that goes all the way back to spawn. Now it's time to discuss a small project that I'm working on. Some of you may be familiar with Isgel's Omega Tree base on Hermitcraft, and a few might even remember Green's water filter base from Season 6. Well, this project is going to be a combination of the two, requiring hundreds of thousands of spruce and dark oak logs, concrete blocks, glass, sea lanterns. Not too much is done so far because I ran out of logs, and instead of chopping them all down by hand, which I tried, I got 1 shulker box in about 50 minutes. It was painful. I decided to make a simple 2x2 spruce tree farm to sustain my needs for a while. In this time-lapse, you can see I'm building up the general core structure. It's not the quickest spruce tree farm, but it's all that I'll need, as I only need a few 100,000 logs. Later on, I built up some blast chambers using Bedrock and Withers, and their respective item transportation systems. With 1.16 snapshots releasing every week, I went inactive on Prototech, spending my time on real-life duties and my Minecraft time on respective farms and technical projects. Over my few months of absentee, Multiple projects came and went, but there was one that spiked my interest. Project Horizons was like no other. It aimed to push the physical limit of Minecraft to its very bounds. Led by ZeroX, a key Prototech member, and with the goal to reach all 12 world borders in a single day, this project caught the attention of none other than Antvenom himself. In fact, he was so intrigued that after we invited him for a tour, he agreed, and within a matter of weeks I found myself at 3 AM, standing next to an inspiration to millions, including myself. I'll also just let you know that I didn't record any audio for this somehow. I had to wake up at 3 AM for this tour, as you know, but for one reason or another, I had no audio coming through, and yeah, so it's pretty silent. I apologize for that, but just enjoy some Taswell. So that tour was something else. Just being in the same server as someone like that was such an honor, and I must thank the Prototech team for giving me an opportunity like that. Wouldn't have been possible without them. Now, this wasn't the only once-in-a-lifetime opportunity I got. About a week later, recent discoveries brought to light the possibility of getting the Bedrock item. Not destroying Bedrock or some other Bedrock shenanigans, actually obtaining the Bedrock item in Survival Minecraft. An achievement that had been in the making for nearly 6 years, with over 100 people working on it. Then only a few days after, Earth Computer released his theoretical way to obtain it. A new trick using fire was discovered, which made it possible to get the Bedrock item without needing to insta-mine redstone ore, which was a previous restriction. Now, I'm not qualified enough to properly explain the process of getting Bedrock, so I'll link some resources in the description below where you can get a better understanding of how this all works, because it's pretty complicated. But once you break it down, you can definitely get a better understanding of how it works, so I do recommend checking out those links. Now, after Hecate and Psycraft obtained Bedrock on their own respective servers, we set out to accomplish such a monumental achievement ourselves. Now, I hopped on the server right as the crew needed a Silk Touch book.
Wait, maybe and
Okay, so you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
We are waiting for Nicola.
Okay, everybody's
Let's
underneath
go.
the thing, right?
I think Nicola is coming here, probably. Is it not loaded now?
Is he coming or not? Are you coming,
I
Nicole?
think Nicola is coming. Let's look touch books.
Is he coming?
Yeah, he's searching for it.
Oh.
And as you can see, I was quite nervous, as Ray's whole stream of 1,000 plus people were watching me as I fumbled around looking for such an enchantment.
Hey.
Yay!
Nice.
And
Now you have to make
clear.
the journey out here.
Yeah, it's gonna take a few minutes.
Topical says, love your videos. Thanks so much, man.
Eventually I found one, and I made the 10,000 block long journey to the setup out in the end.
Is
Nicola
quite
is almost here.
solid. Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's here. Nice.
Hey,
You made it.
go ahead and turn them on. Are you guys ready? First part is to make tons of lag by duping tons of TNT, which are going to get pushed into the next chunk over. That duper is just inside entity processing. And if we just push them one block, they go into lazy processing. They're going to build up there so much that they're going to create lag. Extra, are you ready? Yes, okay. Hopefully it works this time.
It didn't
It's
explode
moving.
yet.
Hasn't exploded. That's good. And then having it launched by this TNT launcher or Ender Pearl cannon, and it'll explode the pearl all the way to the edge. Ooh, this is scary. Okay, made it back up. Everybody's in the center. Good. Let's go, guys. Autosave just happened. Hop in there. Hop in here. Get ready to run forward. Run forward. Break this slime. Break this slime. Oh, we did it, guys! We did it! We did it! Okay, I got pearl down here
Okay.
and placed in my boxes.
Did we get the bedrock?
Nice.
Oh my god.
I've seen the Bedrock.
Would
land
you
right here.
look at that?
Okay, everybody who was here will get. You guys pass around. Everybody stand in circle. I made it back up. Stand in circle.
It should take a
Orderly.
few minutes for me to
Okay,
like,
Encol, you pass it
forward.
to Dude. Dude pass it to Manrock. Lenrick, he's still having problems. Shredda. And Eriksha passes. Oh, he passes to himself again.
I was gonna do that myself.
Collectively becoming one of the first in all of Minecraft to ever hold the Bedrock item in 100% vanilla Minecraft. This was an incredible feat. I'll try my best to link the major contributors to the Bedrock project in the description, as I only contributed a mere fraction of a percent to this whole operation, and full credit should go to those who persevered through hundreds of hours of code digging. This contraption right here is my first independent public project. It is fully functional right now to where you could AFK it overnight and wake up with hundreds of mites in the morning. Now how does this all work? Well, it all starts here. The player hops into this tube and flicks the lever. This switches on the redstone component of the farm. The dropper shoots out pellets every second and the piston pushes away any endermites that you happen to spawn in. These mites take a swift fall into a gateway, where they are sent to unloaded chunks. Now this is important, as they despawn in 2 minutes regardless of how close they are to a player, and by being in unloaded chunks that timer won't be ticking down. So I know what you're thinking, why on earth, or end, would anyone or any group of people ever need an endermite farm? After all, aren't endermites useless? Well, you'll be correct. On most single-player worlds and even technical servers, a farm such as this is either useless or the little benefits that it does offer are overrun by more convenient alternatives. Now there are 3 main reasons why I made this farm on the Prototech SMP. Number 1. In case of a loot table change to endermites, this farm will come in very handy for farming that item. Number 2. For the Prototech Zoo. Here on Proto, we are looking to catch them all, trying to get as many rare mobs as possible, and all the common ones too. We are getting these all into a massive space, aptly named the Prototech Zoo. The Endermites is inclusive of this, and it will be cool to have a whole tank full of them, similar to a koi pond. And number 3, why not? I mean, this server pretty much does whatever it wants to do. Go to the world border in a second, sure. Make gravity instant, sure. Farm every item in the game including Bedrock, sure. So I was surprised when I heard that no one had made an Endermite farm yet, and I decided to fill that gaping hole myself. Now when the player is finished with their session, they fall down here into the gateway themselves. On the other side, the player is to hit this button to push the remaining Endermites into a holding cell. Now the player needs to be quick, as they only have 120 seconds to name tag them all. Climbing down to this lower section is the way you name tag them. A quick press of the button calls an Endermite. Once named, it then gets sent into the storage, where players can then use them for whatever means necessary. One thing left to do is to send the Endermites directly to the main end island by utilizing Type 3 gateway portals, which send entities straight to the Obsidian platform. This would allow for easy transportation to the overworld or nether if they were ever needed for a project there. And well, that about just wraps it up. There's still a lot more work that needs to be done on this world before we can start updating through all the versions, and I can't wait until I've ticked every box. There's so much more that I'd love to tell you, but sadly I gotta keep it under wraps. Anyways, thanks for watching through this documentary. It's my first time doing one, so I hope that you enjoyed it and learnt something new. See you next time. Bye. And I think now's a good time to tell you about our sponsor, Nordshark VPN. Just like TunnelBear, they offer a wide range of services, from VPNs to cloud storage. Link in the description below for more information.